very quick, just short.
Yeah. Yes, please.
Okay, let me just try to share my screen again. If I can. Also, that.
And then while he's doing that, a big welcome to all those who joined us.
Sorry. So okay, let me just log up. Can you see my screen?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So this is pretty much the platform as of now. I just want to emphasize on the fact that all the business processes are working. We have already tested them, and we are comfortable with it. But we are still waiting on particular. Say we need to finalize our incorporation. We need to finalize our incorporation in order to have to be able to sign agreements with some integrators, so that we can then include them on our platform. For instance, like MTN and Orange and Express Union, so that participants can be able to transfer money directly from BAM to Momo, or from BAM to Orange Money, or from Orange Money to BAM, or Momo to BAM, or to Express Union Money. So once that is done, we are going to upgrade the system. Yeah. So, but as regards the platform itself, what normally happens is we are going to have says, yeah, well, this is just like the landing page, which you have say like boom, it takes you back to the entire setting. This is going to be customized and changed as we get along. This is a transaction platform, so it's not like the website. We don't intend to have a very elaborate website. There is also, as regards say categories. Categories is just pretty much say like the marketplace. For instance, as we talked about Bashika having his supermarket online. We have many traders in Bamenda or in so having their supermarkets online. So the goods, just like say Amazon or eBay, they are going to be categorized. For instance, where you can have foodstuffs. For instance, you have the various foodstuffs. You can have say like goods, different types of goods that are still there. So that's pretty. And then languages, English or French. We are still working on we are pretty much done. We are pretty much done with the English version of it. We are going to have everything translated into French, because the population of Cameroon is 27 million. We want to and capture the entire market. We don't want to limit ourselves only to the English-speaking zone of Cameroon. So how does it work? So the first thing is say you have to register. For instance, as any individual, just as you use the various platforms. So you enter. We try to make it in such a way that it is very simplistic, so that any person can can register and have a his or her account online. So as regards mandatory fields, we decided to make sure that the mandatory fields are only the fields that say we go for the minimal say required information that is required by COPA. For instance, like here in Europe, you have GDPR, because when you collect people's data, you need to have say a structured environment where you save their data. So the most things that we collect is pretty much the name, the phone number, and then the gender for statistical purposes. Also, as I talked about, say building say like economic models in order to help our communities. So and then with the email is for in order to receive information emails, because any transaction that we carry out on the platform, once it is executed, you receive an email just to notify you that, okay, that particular transaction has been executed correctly or not. So that's it. So let me just log in. So I've already registered myself. I have limited number of emails. I have only 2 emails. They are already used, so I can't register myself all over again. But for anybody who wants to register he or herself, and now let me just to clarify, for instance, you see here, it is still deaf. Deaf is because it's still a development mode. Once we will be launching, we are going to remove this dev in front, and the website will be simply BAM.market. So that if you want to get on board, you want to register yourself, you can just say click on BAM.market and you will get on board and you'll be able to register yourself. But I can still share the link, the development link online, so that the various participants, you can try it out yourself at your convenience, to see if you feel comfortable with it. If you have any problem, you can just get back to me and we'll try to sort it out. So let me just log into the platform as myself, Eric Njolai. So I will love Eric Njolai. So now I give you my password. The password is case sensitive also, and we try to make sure that we adhere to international standards. And also, so in such a way that as regards the password, we need to have, say, like, say, a word in caps, and then a word in, say, maybe small letters, and then numbers and maybe other characters, so that at least the password is strong. So I click on submit. So now, and you see, so now after clicking on submit, there is this second, say, the pin area. I've been requested now for my pin, which is 1, 2, 3, say, which is, let me not say my pin. Yeah. So now the pin, because as regards all banking platforms currently, you realize that there is now the regulations for the second factor authentication. So in building the MBAM platform, we made sure that we adhered to international standards, so that MBAM is in compliance with even platforms that are regulated here in Europe, because MBAM is also going to be, the operations of MBAM are also going to be regulated by the FCA in the UK. So I click on submit. So now my account has been opened. And this is my account, which shows that I have, say, like a couple of millions. Unfortunately, these are millions CFA, and this is still virtual money. So now if I want to carry out, say, up across, say, in the menu, we have a dashboard, which is pretty much this. And then we have, say, the banking platform, which is when, if you want to carry out banking transactions. Then you have the marketplace, which is where you have different, say, marketers on the platform. And then you have, say, like your personal, say, your personal, say, your personal information page, where you can give in your personal information. And if you want to, say, update them, you can then update them. So now let's go back to our banking. So using the MBAM platform, there are two main things that people are going to do, which is pretty much to send money from participant A to participant B. So let's say, for instance, I want to send money to another participant. Let's call this participant user A. So I go to send money. I click on send money here. I click on send money, and I type the name of user A. So let's take user A, which is say an individual that I know very well. I want to send user A, let's say 100,000. So I put in 100,000. That's 100,000, and I click on next. Now you see user A. I want to send user A 100,000. Now user A, for this particular transaction, I am being notified that for this transaction, I'm going to be charged. I'm going to be charged a fee of 50 francs for this particular transaction. What we try to do in order to maintain costs, because we are doing it in line with the various providers that are on the ground, is that irrespective, all transactions below 100,000, all transactions below 100,000 are charged a fee of 50 francs CFA, and transactions above 100,000 are charged a fee of maybe say 1,800, say 100 francs CFA. Sorry, 100 francs CFA. Now the regulations, the regulations in Cameroon allow only for a maximum of 500,000 francs to be transacted on a particular day. By a maximum of 500,000 francs per transaction. So now I'm going to confirm that, yes, I want to process this transaction and my account to be debited with 100,015. So I confirm. So it now tells me that payment performed, the payment has been performed. And at the same time, I can view the payment, which is here. This is a transaction that I carried out. So I carried out on this particular date. This is a transaction number. This is, say, the date that I carried out, at the date and time that I carried out the transaction. This is the amount that I am sending. And this is, say, and this is a participant whom I am sending the money to. And the total fee that was charged on the for the platform, which is 50 francs. And at the same time, I also receive a notification here, which I can click on it here to see the details. So this notification, so at the same time, I am notified. And when I receive this notification, an email is also sent to my email account, notifying me that I have performed this transaction. Now, we need to see how this transaction is completed at the other end, because we sent money to user A. So let's let's log out as user, as Njolai, and log in as user A in order to see if we received that 100,000. So I'm going to log out. I log in as user A. And let me see, I hope I can recall the, yeah, okay, I got the password. And then user A's, say, and the PIN. Yeah, made an error, hopefully. Oh, I hope, shit. Maybe I've used the wrong PIN. This is a PIN. So let me try the transaction to user B so that I use the right PIN. Maybe the PIN has been changed. Let me log in again as Njolai and use the PIN that I know best. So instead of user A, let me do user B. Sorry, maybe I've forgotten the user A's password, user B. Okay. 100,000. So it's the same transaction. I've just changed the user so that at least I know that maybe the password has not been changed. So let's confirm. So let's log out and log in as user B. Hopefully the password has not been modified also. Okay, at least this one, so I'm sure the PIN for user A was has been modified. That's why the transaction didn't go through, because the PIN has been modified. I've forgotten the PIN. So now, you see, as I have logged in as user B, so under notifications, you see, if we click on notifications, we see that user B has been notified that he has received a transaction of 100,000 francs from Njolai. This is a transaction that I just performed now. For instance, you can see the 1921, which is the time that we have currently in Ireland. So this is a transaction that I just performed currently. So user B already has this transaction in his say in this account. So this is just to testify that user B has received the money. When we are sending money back home, irrespective of where the person is located, you do the same, it's the same process that you do to carry out. And if user B wants to cash out, say the transaction, for user B to cash out the transaction, the user B has to go physically to what we call a cash point or a merchant, because the cash points are just like agents. Because in order to get the cash, the physical cash, you need to go to somebody, just like the payout branch, the merchant or a cash point, who will give you that amount physically. So for them to do that, all they need to do is to go to cash point, or they can go to the cash point. Let's go out and log in as a cash point. So we go to cash point. Cash points. Say that's a cash points one. So I've logged in now as a, say, for instance, like a cash point. A cash point is, say, is a participant on the platform, say, like a super broker who has that authorization to pay out the physical cash. So this user B might want to go to this cash point in order to cash out the transaction. So what they do, they simply go, the cash point now will go to banking and then say request for payments from user, because user B who wants to cash out that 100,000 needs to send that 100,000, which is electronic money, to the cash point for the cash point to be able to give him the physical transaction. So now he is going to request for the 100,000 from user B. So now, so who is the receiver? The receiver is user B, yeah? So and the amount is 100,000. So this is the amount, so confirm. So you see, it now requires, there is now this pop-up message that, are you sure you want to send this payment request? Because for cash points to pay you out, he needs to receive the money first, the electronic money, before the physical cash can move. So I say, yes, confirm that, yes, I want to confirm. So now it sends in a notification that the payment request with transaction, this was successfully processed. So now, and you receive also a notification that that payment, that cash out payment that you want to execute has been processed. So let's log out as cash point and log in as user B, because as user B, we would have received a notification from the cash point in order to pay out. So we log out and log in as user B. User B. Okay, now you see we have now logged in as user B, and you see that there is a notification here. So now let's click on the notification. You see, this is a notification that you have received. You have received a payment request. You see, you have received a payment request from the cash point. You see, you have received a payment request of 100,000 from cash point 1. So, and user B who wants to cash out will need to accept or to deny this payment request. So if you want to cash out from the MBAM platform, what do? You have to accept that cash out transaction. So if you, because it is when you accept this payment request that money physically moves from user B's account to user A's to the cash point 1's account. So I click on accept payment. So now it then tells me the payment confirmation. This is what has gone through, and this is what it's going to. So this is a total charge. So it's going to charge me this amount to cash out this 100,000. So if I click now as user B, I click now on confirm. The amounts now, that process is going to be completed. So the process has been completed and a notification has been sent to me to tell me that that money has now been sent to cash point 1. So if I go to cash point 1's account now, I will see that 100,000 that he has received electronic money, and he can then pay me out the physical amount. So let's go back to, let's log out as user B and log in as cash point 1. So now we are logged in now, we are logged in as cash point 1. So let's go to our banking transaction. You see, now in our banking transaction, what do we see here? You see, we see a total of 100,000 that has been received on this particular day from user B for the cash out. So user cash point has received now the electronic money, and they can then give you now the physical 100,000 out to user B, and user B cashes out. So that's how the cash out transaction works. So now let us look at the merchant transaction. What if I want to buy a product on the platform? Let's log out and I log in as myself and do a purchase transaction.
Let's just say that will surely wrap up the last demo.
Okay, yeah, so
yeah.
Sorry, we'll just very quick.
Yeah, that's fine. And if people have questions, just remember that Eric is much more available, so we can always have a much more intensive.
Okay, so if I want to, for instance, if I want to buy, for instance, my parents, they are in, and if I want to buy, sorry, somebody asked me a question.
No question.
Okay. So if I want to carry out a purchase transaction, for instance, I know that Pashika's, this thing shop is in, so I can access this is Pashika's shop. Let's go back. So these are the various say like traders whose say like businesses are on the MBAM platform. So I can decide to go, since I know Pashika very well, and I might want to buy from Pashika. I click on Pashika's shop, and I try to view what Pashika has in his shop. So these are the items that Pashika might have in his shop, and I might want to buy and say a bag of rice and a crate of drink. So I just say I now click on the particular item that I want to buy. So this is say like rice, just as we carry out transactions using eBay or Amazon. So I click on add to cart. So I add it on my cart. If we look at notifications here, shopping cart, you see that it has been added onto my cart because I have clicked say the rice twice. So 2 bags of rice have been added onto my cart. If I go back to the shop, say to Pashika's shop, and I include also let's say we take a drink, also a crate of drink, we add it to the card. So if I go in there, I'll see, so I have two, say like two bags of rice and a crate of drink. So these are the items that I've bought from Pashika's shop, and I want to send, say, to my parents. I can then check out. So I click on checkout and say, these are my, these are the areas that I want the stuff to be delivered. So, but it's not here. Where our house is found is called John Bosco. This is John Bosco. So John Bosco in Verb. And say that is in Cameroon. Sorry, let's just Cameroon, yeah. So, and if there is any question that we want to ask, we can always ask the question here. Say the question, I'm buying from Pashika. So those are the two items. So I can then click on next. So that's the total that I have in my shopping cart. And then I will need to confirm, yeah. So that so now I have received now a notification because the purchase transaction, you see, it is pending by seller. So I need Pashika to accept that purchase transaction that I've carried out. So let me just log out and log in as Pashika. So if I log in as Pashika, you see Pashika has received a notification. If I click on the notification and I open, you see this notification has been received on the 11th of September at this time, which is our current time. So it means that this is my purchase transaction that has been received. So if I click on it, I'll realize that this this is say the order that I did. So if I want to set delivery, if I want to set delivery, because I'm the trader, so I'm Pashika, so I want to set delivery. So I can set say maybe a chaba. I put and say like the delivery price. Let me just say Eric, yeah, and then I just put Eric, and then I can say put the delivery price that I want. Let's say 1,000 if I want, and then I click on submit. So automatically, Eric, if I go in as Eric, I will see that particular say delivery and say purchase transaction received from Pashika. So I log in. So see, I've received say the delivery notification from Pashika that this particular transaction that I want to do that is going to be sent to my mother in John Bosco, it is going to cost me a transportation fee of 1,000, say like the Achaba guy will cost me say 1,000 francs. So if I'm okay with the delivery charge, I can then accept. So if once I accept, say okay, once I accept and I confirm, automatically if I go to my banking account, so I've been notified now here that that payment has been processed. So if I go to my banking transactions, I will see that my account has been debited by that amount. And if I log in as Pashika now, Pashika will need to see that 67,000 getting into his account. So Pashika has received a notification, and this is a notification that the sale order has been transferred, and that 67,000 has been transferred into Pashika's account. So if I click on Pashika's banking transaction, you see Pashika has received this now in his account, that the transaction has been completed. And at this time now, Pashika can then deliver this particular item to give it to the Achaba boy with whom Pashika works to deliver it to our home. So that is how the transaction pretty much works. And that is how it is going to be replicated in all the various, whether it is in Ba, it is in Tartrin, it is in Shison, it is in Kinkomen, it is in any of the various locations that we are operational in. That is how it is going to be processed. So that is just in a nutshell how the transaction is going to be transacted on the platform. If there is any additional question, I can address that, or we can meet after the presentation, and I can then carry out a one-on-one with anybody who is interested in it. And just to summarize before I leave, I want to express my sincere thanks and appreciation to all the various team members, to people who worked say with us in order to develop this solution. As you would have realized on that video, the video that was used in order to carry out MBAM, there is a voice that is there. That is the voice of Leila. And Leila, I want to just use this opportunity to thank you very much for providing that service to MBAM also. And you see, it is a teamwork. We try to use the members of our community in order to make sure that the solution that we are providing to our people is something that belongs to the community and which our community can relate to and take ownership of it. So that's all I have to present for today. Thank you very much.
And Eric, you're adding to it that all of this is app-based. Does it happen on the app or it only happens on the platform? And so you're telling us it's a combination of mobile money, combination of PayPal, and a combination of Amazon that you're putting here in that. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Great.
Sorry?
I was just asking to understand that you're saying that this is a combination between PayPal, WorldRemit or MoneyGram, and Amazon, right? This is the product you put together into BAM. And that all of these transactions can happen on the app, on the application, because people might not have a computer to be working on the platform for computers, just as a precision from your side.
Yeah.
Just to emphasize on that point, that's true. Because we are currently, for instance, the platform that you see now is going to be upgraded with once we have carried out all the various integrations. That's why we say it's still coming. Because we need to say you'll be able, say from the diaspora, we'll be able to pay into our MBAM accounts from the comfort of our homes. And even the people back home will also be able to pay into their MBAM accounts from the comfort of their, whether they are based in Kuseri, in Douala, in Yaoundé, or in Garoua. So that's just what I just want to emphasize. So depending on the, say, how you want to transact the MBAM platform, you can pay in using any form of, we're going to, well, once it is done and it is launch time, we are going to notify and say the community.
Great. No, thank you. Yeah, thank you so much, Eric. That was very educative, and I'm sure many people